Hello my dears, this is Sarah from SheHoldsDearly.com, and today I want to share with you a super quick painting technique for furniture that you may not have seen before, but it turns out so beautiful. What I want to share with you today is called color washing. I hope it's not too simple for you. I am still going to show you the whole process even though it's totally simple once you see what it is. It's called color washing, and I believe that it depends on what color you're using for even a better description. So I'm gonna use black, so mine would be called black washing. So I am going to black wash this desk. And I know some of you are going to hate that idea and maybe this video is not for you. I really do love this desk. I got it on Craigslist. I think I paid $150 and it is old, I'm sure of that. But the problem is in this room, I think that this desk needs to be switched. So it's taken me a long time to get to this point, but I'm ready to do it. I'm going to black wash it, which means I'm gonna darken this wood, but I really do want some of that warm wood showing through just a little bit. So what we're gonna do is use a black paint, and then we're gonna use a black wax over it. I have two paints on hand that I could use. I have the Fusion Mineral Paint in Ash. I used this to paint the lockers for my son's room and also his nightstand and a shelf in his room. So I overbought it. I thought I needed 3 jars and I needed like a half a jar. So I have a lot of this paint, although I feel like it has a little bit of a navy blue undertone, which I am not wanting on this particular project. And then the other one I have on hand is my beloved Magnolia Home chalk paint in the color Blackboard. It's a beautiful black. I'm gonna use this one. And what we're gonna do is put it into a container. I just have my trusty mason jar that I use for my milk paint and anything else I'm doing really. And I'm gonna put 2/3 paint and 1/3 water. So you can't just dip straight into the can because we gotta water this down. You're basically gonna watercolor your piece of furniture. I am going to remove the hardware on this desk. Other than that, I'm not doing anything else. I'm not even actually gonna open the drawers. I'm gonna leave them shut. And as I go along, I'm going to just do a thin wash, and I want some of the warm tones showing through. So I'm gonna do a thin black wash over this whole piece. And then I'm gonna come back with a rag and I'm gonna wipe off key areas. I specifically love like the center of drawers, or if you're doing a cabinet, the doors. You want a lot more wood tone showing through on those spots. So I will kind of touch up all of the drawers. And then if it feels too much like you took an eraser in the middle of it, that it's just like a circle was smudged out of the middle, we're gonna take our brush and just smudge and fade in those lines and make it look a lot more blended. Once that dries, which chalk paint takes like an hour, then I'm gonna come back with wax. Now you can use black wax. I don't own black wax. I've never used it in the last 5 years that I've been doing furniture, and I don't think I will use it very much. So I am going to actually make my own black wax, and I have a little tiny recipe for that. It's very simple. You're gonna want 4 tablespoons of clear wax. So I've got like 5 brands of clear waxes that I could use. And then 1 teaspoon of paint. And we're gonna mix that up and then just wax the whole piece of furniture, okay? All right, I want to jump in at this point and talk about what's going on with this piece. As per usual, as I do a project, things start unfolding and I have decisions to make I didn't realize I was gonna have to make. So I just wanted to discuss them with you as I go along. So I went ahead, I put 1 coat of the chalkboard black paint on. It looks navy, which once I wax it, I think it will deepen and darken and will be okay. But it looks very navy, so just warning you on that. I felt like the paint was too thin on the top, and so I went ahead, and actually on this side too, I put a 2nd coat on and let it dry. And now I don't know if I needed to do that, so I might have to sand it down. And then these like washed areas where I tried to like smudge it, I feel like I'm seeing maybe too many brush strokes. So I just need to mess around with waxes and see if I need to sand more, if I need to paint more. I almost feel like I didn't stir the paint enough, and so the pigments aren't correct, and that's why it looks so navy. But if I remember correctly, on other projects that I've used this paint, it does look navy until you add the wax. Now, the last thing I want to point out here is that this is black and it suddenly is disappearing, and they're really cute little pulls. So I am going to bring on my trusty rub and buff, which is a metallic wax that you just super easy. You just work it into with, I use my old foundation brush, and I like the European gold. You just need a tiny little dab, and then you just buff it onto you can use it on all kinds of things. I usually use it on metals. So I'm gonna switch these all. I'm gonna turn these up to be a little bit softer gold, a matte gold, and I think that will be pretty. I went ahead and put a couple decorations up just to give me an idea of where I'm going with this, and I like them. This is my son's lamp. I had a black lamp on here earlier and I feel like it's too much black. So that's gonna go over in my husband's office area that we are building next. And this is my son's from IKEA. I pulled it. They don't even make the silver one anymore at IKEA. They have it in gold, which I'm actually really excited about. I think gold will be perfect, but I just wanted to get the scale of it. So that will be switched up. I need to go pick up a gold lamp. We are definitely close to finishing. Let me buff the hardware out, and then I'll make some decisions on sanding and waxes. All right, so as I'm doing the hardware, I just want to point out one thing to you. I have found that especially when you have a black first layer, which I think is really good, I do not make it totally perfectly gold. I feel like that's more of a modern look, so I just kind of stipple it on and kind of make it mottled for more of a vintage look. That's a little tip for you vintage lovers. You want just a little bit of the black showing through. So if you're in the middle of a project and you feel like you're hitting a wall and you just don't know which way to go ahead and do what you know you want to do. So for me, I knew that I wanted to change the hardware to the European gold, so I went ahead and did that. Just take the next step that you know you want to do, and then start taking tiny samples of the things that you are unsure of. So now I'm gonna mess around with 3 different waxes. I'm gonna try clear, black, and dark. And I think I'm gonna go like back inside where I only have 1 layer of paint, and I can really get an idea of how it's gonna react with the wax. All right, I've tried the dark wax and I've tried the clear wax. I really like the dark wax. I've liked it in the past. Now I want to make some black wax, which I just don't like. You can buy, like I said, you can buy it or you can make it. I don't want to follow my whole recipe because I feel like I'm not gonna need it. I've like already really like the dark, but so I'm gonna just do a smidgen of what they say. All right, I have some good news. So I figured out the wax, we're going with dark wax. And then I just wanted more wood showing. And I wasn't happy with the brush strokes that I'm seeing with the color washing. So I went ahead and I sanded, and it's looking too much like just a chalk painted distressed piece of furniture. I really wanted it to feel color washed. And then I got a rag damp and I just tried to wipe off and kind of blend in the brush strokes better, and it totally works. So if you don't have wax on it and you're dealing with chalk paint, just wet a rag and you can style up the way you want it. And so I'm gonna take some of this off on the top and I'm gonna clean up the front of these drawers. So I'm going to mess with it a little bit and try to lift up some of that really beautiful wood tone with a damp rag. All right, I feel like I've got the wood tone showing the way I want it. Now I'm just gonna do this dark wax. And the only other thing that I probably will add on, maybe it needs to dry for 24 hours, but then I think I'm gonna use that Mustard Seed Tough Coat, just because I'm pretty hard on the top of my desk. I work it pretty hard. I eat on it, I've got, you know, my laptop moving all over on it and stuff, so I think that is the final step. I'm gonna wax it and put it all back together and show you what we've got. All right, whew, thanks for following me along on that adventure. We got it done, and I love it. I feel like it might be a little bit navy, but I'd like to see it in the lighting tomorrow. And then, like I said, I'll probably put a tough coat layer on this very top section tomorrow or the next day. But I really love how the gold handles turned out, and I'm excited to go pick up the gold lamp from IKEA and just finish off the look. I'm almost there. I do suggest this painting technique. I think it's a neat one and pretty simple, but it has a really interesting artistic flair to it that you can't get with sandpaper. So I'm going to be using this one again, and I hope you like it too. Before you head out, I have a friend, Amy, from the blog 1905 Farmhouse, which is kind of fun because mine is a 1906 farmhouse, and she also lives on the West Coast. She has an ebook that she's offering you guys, so I'm going to put a link in the description below. And if you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I do post regularly, and I share my DIY design advice and our vintage farm life. All right, take care, and I'll talk to you soon.